The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
It's time for a crunch or two. It's time for a little something something. It's time for the Snack Authority. The Snack Authority. The authority on snacks. Snacks of all kinds. From the most common and wildly famous to the most obscure and unknown. The Snack Authority. Snacking all the time so you don't have to.
Welcome, everybody, to the Snack Authority, broadcasting live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café. The Snack Authority, third episode right here, is a weekly podcast where we dig into the history, taste, and flavors of local snacks, national favorites, and even some bizarre and international snacks, alone or like we're going to do today, head-to-head against the competitors battling. I'm Dave, and I am one of the panelists and experts here, and I'm an expert in snacks. And let's go to another one of our panelists. Let's go to Jessica and see what we're going to eat today.
Okay, everybody, today is a heated debate between cheese crackers, actually. So we have Annie's Cheddar Bunnies, which is fun to say. We have Cheese Nips and Cheez-Its. Mikey, who is your best guess for winner today?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the Cheez-It because the other two I haven't eaten in a while. So,
You like the bunnies. Cheese Nips, I think that's a cool name.
Sounds a little vulgar, and that's why I like it.
sounds like alcohol's involved, so I may be into
But
those
I would
two.
say the champion of champions here is the Cheez-It as far as the well-known one.
Oh, yeah, that's everywhere.
Yeah.
What
How
about
you, Ed?
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe I'll like a cheese nip.
Really?
I don't know why. I just think sometimes.
When was the last time you ate one?
I can't recall.
Have you eaten one, you think?
I think I probably have. If they're cheaper, I'm sure that's what my mother bought when I was a kid, you know.
It seems like they were very popular years ago, maybe even more popular than Cheez-Its.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember them being very popular, but they've disappeared from my life for many years. Mm-hmm. As far as the Annie's Bunnies, I have nothing to say.
I have not had them before.
It's one of those healthy organic snack things. So they actually make some,
that's probably why.
they make some really good
mac and cheese.
Mac
mac and cheese. Yeah. I was about to call it cheese-a-roni because that's what my daughter calls it.
Yeah. So, do we know anything about these? We'll go to our historian, Ed Sullivan.
We know a lot.
Do you know a lot about it? All right, tell me, because I don't know a lot about it.
Well, the Cheez-Its were the first.
Oh.
They were introduced in 1921 by...
You know, I see it says original right on the package, so they mean it.
Yeah, by Green and Green Company. And the original tagline for Cheez-It was a baked rarebit. You know, like
Rarebit.
Would you ever hear of Welsh rarebit?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a cheese sauce on toast.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know if they were trying to get that vibe or what they were up to. But Sunshine Biscuits acquired Green and Green in 1932. I mean, there's so much consolidation in the snack business because then Sunshine was acquired by Keebler in 1996. And Keebler, in turn, was acquired by Kellogg in 2001.
Wow.
So,
Cereal giant.
yeah, the cheese nip didn't come along until 1955. And they're manufactured by Nabisco. And, of course, in 2000, Philip Morris Companies acquired Nabisco.
Sure. So you get a pack of Marlboros with that.
See right on the package here, Cheez-It is a registered mark of Kellogg's because it looks like a Cheez-It.
Yeah.
It says that on the cheese nip.
Yep.
They had to actually print the word Cheez-It, their competitor, on their package?
Yeah, Cheese Nips has real cheddar cheese. Original Cheez-It doesn't.
Ah.
They're smack talking already.
Well, now the funny thing is these say made with 100% real cheese.
But
It's
not
just
cheddar.
So they brought up the Cheez-It name on there
Right.
to actually throw them down the thing. Then they have to say
They
it's...
might have had to because of the shape. It's not the little bar.
No, because they used the word.
Yeah, once they bring up the name, they've got to...
Smack talking.
But actually, when Philip Morris acquired Nabisco, they merged it with Kraft Foods, which they already owned.
So Nabisco is no lightweight. Actually, they're more financially rich, I'm sure, than the Cheez-It people. because of Philip Morris.
Oh, yeah.
And so they can talk smack. Number 2 talk smack about number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Usually not the other way around.
Kellogg's got all that cereal money, though, right?
Big.
So Annie's is, the wild card. Again, it's one where there's less information about them. But Annie's Homegrown was founded in 1989. And I think...
Oh, that's relatively new.
Yeah. Although General Mills bought Annie's Homegrown in 2014 for $850 million.
Wow, Annie did
for you,
okay.
Annie.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, though. You don't see the General Mills logo anywhere on the box.
Yeah.
Annie did okay because they want to keep it looking like it's generic, like it's a small company.
Clicky.
You feel good about
Boutique cheese crackers.
Right. You feel good, but they're a monster too.
I would like to point out they actually gave you a little bunny puppet, which is going to be mine at the end of this episode.
Oh, my God.
Cut it out and put your fingers through it.
I'm totally going to do that.
I know there was some speculation that we should have saved the bunnies to battle the goldfish, but I guess that is still possible.
We'll see that down the line when we start running out of stuff. But with the help of the listener, they're going to send us information of...
Which is why we're doing this one.
Absolutely.
Listener asked us
So
to.
let's start digging in, Jess. Let's try these things. Let's taste, compare, see what's good. These are all newly bought, so they're fresh from the supermarket. And we'll see what happens. Mikey, you were saying something about... there's no snorting a Cheez-It. There's something wrong with that.
All right, I got it.
Little cheese
Mikey,
dust.
you were telling me last night that you remember a Cheez-It that came out that...
They were called the toasted ones. It was
My
basically
mom
all the
does.
nice darkies.
Yeah, and overcooked. So there's
I don't
easy
think they make
enough,
them anymore.
easy enough to tell what the bunny ones are.
Right.
But these other ones, the Cheez-Its, I'm going to have to pay attention to because I think they look very much alike.
Right.
The Cheez-It, the Cheese Nip, comes in an aluminum foil bag.
Freshness.
Fancy.
It's still plastic. It's just shiny.
Shiny.
All right, we're going to get them all working.
Oh, cool. I get the boxes. Nice.
You got to share.
That's a foil.
Those
Yeah.
are cute.
They are very similar.
I don't see it. They look like the same shape, but look at how...
Yeah, there's a little different color differentiating. So that's the Nip is the more yellow.
And the fluffier. They have less
Flappy.
salt on the outside.
All right, so
Is it salt or is it just cheese dust?
This looks like salt,
the Cheez-It is a little more well done, would you say?
which I am a big fan of well done.
And they made one that was even more well done than this. I don't
The
remember
Toasteds.
that.
Yeah, it was a very short run. Eddie over in the other store actually remembered them too.
Well, maybe what happened is they had a production problem and made lemonade out of lemons.
Now, Cheez-Its, they have low-salt Cheez-Its and all some different things.
Tabasco,
they got
Monterey Jack. Oh,
Those
my goodness.
Cheez-It grooves, too. The white cheddar ones are tasty.
It's like
They're very tasty.
it's like a puffy.
So I'm eating a Cheez-It first. Very salty. I'm a Cheez-It fan. There's Cheez-Its in my house right now, I'm sure. They seem very salty. That's probably the way I like them. I like salty snacks,
I
right?
love these. They're so tasty.
Now I'm going to go to the Cheese Nip.
Interesting. I don't think it has the sharpness of the Cheez-It.
Not as much salt.
Yeah, way down in the salt level.
Different texture, too. They're
Malt-
softer.
Mulled flavor.
Although, I think in the finish on the cheese nip, I get more cheese taste out of it. But the Cheez-It itself seems
After you
sharper.
swallow it.
These taste like goldfish.
Yeah, the bunnies are kind of boring.
Oh, I want to eat a bunny. I mean that in like the least bunny eating kind of way.
Bunny is closer to a Cheese Nip.
Oh, they have little eyes. I mean, I guess that would make sense, right? Because they're both claiming 100% cheddar. Cheez-It is unspecified 100% cheese.
I do think the cheese is crispier though.
I don't know if like you guys have to literally see this if you try all three. When you put them side by side, yes, the bunny is very, very different. But the Cheez-It and the Cheese Nip, I could tell these apart in a bowl of them.
Yeah, the Cheez-It seems to have more puffiness to it. The cheese nip is flatter.
I do find the cheese crispier though.
They're more cooked.
Yeah, I have a favorite already.
There's a delicate crispness to the cheese nip, though.
The Cheez-It is sharper, saltier, crunchier. But to me, it tastes like the cheese nip is more real.
Well, I think you get the
It depends what type of cheese you're eating, too.
you get the cheddar flavor, I think, out of it, and it's pretty clear even then when you go to the bunnies.
Yeah, the
you
bunnies
get that cheddar taste, but the Cheez-It,
are more powdery.
yeah, and it's just a
bunny.
sharpness initially, like a sharper cheese.
I get that more out of the Cheez-It.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because
The
of the salt.
Cheez-It, yeah.
It's
I'm
like
getting
an
like a-
aged cheddar as opposed to like a regular mild.
Is the Cheez-It supposed to be, it says real cheese, but it doesn't say cheddar at all.
Cheese made with skim milk, so it's not technically cheddar. I don't know what TBHQ is. I think we already talked
preservative.
about that. Yeah,
And
it's got vitamins, minerals. There's enriched flour in the Cheez-Its, first ingredient, unbleached enriched flour in the cheese nips, and then organic wheat flour is the first thing in the Annie's.
Yeah, the
so I'm
Annie's
wondering
wrong.
if that's going to
Hippie.
start with something different. There's paprika. Oh, for color, I'm guessing, in the Cheez-Its. But if you look at, I don't even see this in the other ones. In the Annie's, nope. They actually have onion powder, celery seed powder, non-fat milk. Everything has paprika. I'm thinking that's just for the color. It's wild.
well, Annie's is not a big advertiser, but let's go to a Cheez-It commercial.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay.
Cheez-It packs so much real cheese in such a small bite. People are wondering,
How does Cheez-It do it?
It's simple, really.
It's simple, but they don't tell us how. I don't know if you remember those commercials where the big wheel of cheese was chasing people down the street.
Not wrong.
I like the newer ones where the cheese is like a little wise guy.
Oh, yeah.
We wait until our cheese is well matured.
And Cheese Nips is a little harder to find commercials on, but we found one.
Oh, good.
Cheese lovers know that nationally, Kraft cheese nips are preferred over Cheez-It. Cheese lovers choose.
They're going after them.
Scandal.
All right, so they're not, you don't see Cheez-It. That's the way it goes, you know. Number one, which is Cheez-It, is never going to talk about cheese nip. Don't even mention them.
No way.
But number two is going to bring them up. Pepsi Challenge, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're giving them free advertising by even mentioning them or putting them on their boxes.
You know, negative press.
Yeah, but that's the way it always goes. If you're not number one, you got to go after number one.
Yeah.
One
I
thing I
guess.
did notice looking at these though, as far as the serving sizes, you can get a lot more bunnies than the other two.
Well, the
and you
bunnies
get
are
less
little.
calories.
Look
You
how-
get, yeah, but 51 bunnies compared to
10 and 12.
Well, what do they say on
29 crackers in the cheese nip and
I'd say
27.
it's going to take 3 bunnies to equal one
you?
of those.
Usually they'll
Because you got all that space. It's going to take 3 bunnies for each.
on the serving size. Usually they'll give a weight of the serving size. So
30 grams all around. So, yeah, it's the same basic amount, even though the numbers are different.
There's 10 less calories in the bunnies if you're looking healthy.
So 150, 150. The cheese nip
140.
and the Cheez-It is completely ripped off of each other.
But the funny thing is, the sodium content in the bunnies and Cheez-Its are the same.
And is nips less or more?
Nips
Little
are less.
One by 3%. No, 1%.
There's not a huge difference in these.
How about in price?
Price-wise, there's actually a huge gap. And it's not going to really surprise anybody when I tell you the prices on these. There are 2 that are close and 1 that's kind of like whoosh. For the cheese nips, we are looking at 18 cents per ounce. They actually come in an 11-ounce container. For the Cheez-Its, they're 20 cents an ounce, and they come in, for this one at least, it's a 12.4-ounce container. So there's just a slight little difference in there. The Annie's Cheese Bunnies are a whopping 40 cents an ounce.
Whoa.
So, yeah, but there's a lot of bunnies in an ounce. I get it. They actually don't call their ingredients, they call them best ingredients,
Well,
which I think is cute.
and you got to pay for the fun you have eating bunnies.
Well,
And-
it's also
But
the
you get
organic.
more bunnies. But what's the difference? It's the
Well-
mold of the thing.
I think it depends on.
Is there such thing as a mini Cheez-It or anything like that yet?
Yeah, actually,
Small
there
ones,
is.
big
I bet
ones.
there have been.
Yeah.
There's big ones.
Big Cheez-Its?
I think
Big
so,
Cheez-Its, little
unless I
tiny
just
things.
dreamed them.
But from a snackability perspective, right? So we're eating these kind of one at a time, but you can grab a handful of bunnies without, having any spillage and toss those into your mouth. If you do the same with the Cheez-Its, I don't know.
How much more salt content in the Cheez-It? Because it seems like a lot.
As far as sodium, it's 230 milligrams of sodium per 27 crackers. Excuse my mouth being full. And it's only 210 for the cheese nip, so it's not a huge difference.
You get more
and
crackers.
It's 250 in the Annie's.
And it's weird, the Annie's don't taste as salty.
No.
At all.
Maybe the salt doesn't cling well to bunny fur.
Well, I mean, you can see it on the Cheez-It. It's sitting there. It's like sandpaper on top of it. You let that sit in your mouth for a minute without crunching it, and there's a lot of salt.
I like the salt though. When I look for a snack, I want something super salty, and then I'll maybe have like a little piece of chocolate with something salty.
If it's not dramatically different and the cheese nip is there in salt, the cheese nip's got to have the salt inside as opposed to outside.
On the outside.
But it tastes way less salty.
It's weird though.
But, maybe with the real cheddar, I don't know what the sodium content would be versus this generic cheese, right? Because cheese can have quite a bit of salt.
You know why this tastes saltier? I really think it's because it's cooked a little more than the other two. This one has a definite toasted kind of taste, and I love burnt toast beyond words.
So I did it again. I ate all my samples. So
We'll reload you, don't worry.
I got to reload because we have to know. But what I do know today is we have a little new segment. I don't know if this is going to stick because do we have news all the time? I don't know. But we have snack news with Ed Salem.
This is the snack news of the week.
Yee-hoo.
Everything that's fit to print. According to a post on the Hydrox Cookies Facebook page, the company has filed an official complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. They believe Oreo's parent company, Mondelez, has been making it intentionally difficult for customers to find their cookies, which are extremely similar to Oreos.
I agree. It was very difficult to get them, and they are being pushed out by the big boy. But when it comes to supermarkets, it's pay to play.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although I did go to the Hydrox Facebook page, and their claim was that they're showing that Amazon has inventory of Hydrox, whereas Amazon shows they have no inventory. So
Bought them all?
I don't know. I don't know what happened because it was interesting. I bought them, and Jess, I think, looked the same day or the next day, and they weren't there.
They were out of
anymore.
stock.
That's because you bought a lot of them. Well, you buy 6 packs.
Yeah, I had to buy 6 at a time.
Okay.
Also on the Hydrox page, they were talking about trying to have it included in Prime Pantry so that you could buy them individually. But we'll see. I enjoyed the Hydrox. I wish them the best of luck.
Sure.
Now, a mystery buyer is acquiring New England Confectionery Company,
Necco,
which is a local one.
Yeah.
They're buying the assets. The unnamed buyer intends to start selling some of Necco's candy brands, including Clark Bars, Mighty Malts, Sweethearts, the little Valentine.
February's coming.
Yep, Necco wafers and Canada Mints, which are just dreadful.
Yeah, they are.
My grandma loved those things.
Yeah.
They taste like Pepto.
They taste like something old people would like. And there was no mention of the Sky Bar, though.
I love the Sky Bar.
Yeah, there are other brands that this company is not putting out. They're going to send them off to auction. So.
They have the O. Henry.
Yeah,
Oh,
O. Henry.
Yep, and they just called out Clark Bars, but not the O. Henry. So who knows? We'll see where we end up with Necco's Confection.
I would, and an unnamed source. I would say that unnamed person is already in the game, and they're going to roll it into their own business, right?
Probably.
I would say so.
Yeah, and I have not done any background on this. This could be fake news, but I did see it published on several outlets about the acquisition of Necco. Now, in happy news, in 2019, the Girl Scouts are unveiling a new cookie.
Wow.
Excited.
It's been a long time.
Now, can we still call them the Girl Scouts since they merged with the Boy Scouts?
I'm not sure. But
do we have to just call them the Scouts?
that new cookie is caramel chocolate chip.
Oh.
I'm a fan already.
I'm in.
Yep.
The chewy cookie features rich caramel, semi-sweet chocolate chips, and a hint of sea salt.
Well done.
You want the chewy because one of my favorites there is the one that's chewy.
The coconut ring one?
No,
Yeah.
Samoa.
Samoa, yeah.
One caveat, Dave, it sounds delicious until you get to the spoiler. It's certified gluten-free.
Wow, that's why they did it, huh? They need a gluten-free one.
I think they had one other is gluten-free, but this will be the second one.
One box is a serving size, right?
Yeah, the gluten.
Sounds good to me.
Gluten tastes good.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know what the flavor is exactly, but it's good. I mean, I've found with baked goods, you can't quite get the same texture once you go gluten-free.
It's a little flat and denser usually.
Yeah, one of the best pizzas, local pizza places that are around. I try to figure out what's their trick because their dough is sensational and it's high gluten.
Really?
Yeah. And it's sensational.
And that is the snack news of the week.
There we go.
Nice.
So we're still comparing. We're trying to figure this out. I think I have an answer.
I know I have an answer.
Really. I like them all. I wouldn't be sad if one showed up and the other one didn't.
Yeah.
So it's not like a standout. I'm a fan of the cheese cracker.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw any of them out of my bed.
Right.
You know. And
Technically, it's a cheese cracker, so it's healthy, right?
as far as snacking in bed goes, these have a relatively low mess factor to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of all of them, I think the Cheez-It, just because of the salt that's on the surface.
What do,
is probably
what do you think about the peanut butter sandwich? Cheese cracker.
Oh, yeah.
You know the ones that they come with the little cheese cracker with the peanut butter.
Who was that? Is it Palmer?
I do not put peanut butter on cheese crackers.
I like it.
I can't do it.
Every school kid either enjoyed or suffered through those, depending on their point of view. Although nowadays, with the peanut allergies, I suppose they're out.
Yeah, probably.
But what you can do is get your kid a little plastic knife, jar of peanut butter, little box of cheese nips, Cheez-Its, or even the bunnies, and let them make their little peanut butter sandwiches with
These
it.
are fairly thick, though. You could probably just
Peanut
dip with
butter
it, too.
with this?
Huh?
I have never put peanut butter with a cheese cracker. I am like a cheese spread on a cheese cracker kind of person.
Oh,
Dave, if you got the
good time.
the Cheez-It grooves, they're bigger. Maybe a little dish of peanut butter. You could scoop
dip?
some up. Oh, yeah.
Would you have to soften it in some way? Because I can just see it breaking off.
If
in
you
it.
get
Look at
some of
creamy.
that all-natural stuff, it tends to
Teddy.
have a different texture.
With the oily in them.
Get some nice Teddy stuff.
There we go. All right, so do we have any letters in the mailbag today?
Well, this particular listener contacted us on our Facebook page.
Okay. Because you can go there, but you can also find us on the Snack Authority at gmail.com. Any way you can find the Snack Authority, write to us so we can respond to you.
Absolutely. Well, one of our listeners, Skip from Nicaragua.
Nicaragua.
Oh, yeah.
Skip Martin, you think?
I think perhaps it is Skip Martin from
Well, he's
Nicaragua.
in Texas.
He would like to see pretzels on an upcoming episode.
Oh boy. That could be tricky, though. What type of pretzel?
Well, we've asked him to come up with some brands for a matchup, or anything else that he might like to see. I mean, for
It's
us,
got to be readily available stuff, not stuff that's sold in Nicaragua right now.
Unless he wants to send them. I'll try things.
although, for us, I think it's more fun for us to get the listeners involved
Yes,
and
very
have
much
them
so.
snack along with us. So
Right.
we're really looking for
We're
suggestions.
going to get into bizarre foods and things as we get going on, but right now
So
we got so much ground to cover on regular stuff.
yeah, I mean, as Dave mentioned, if any listeners have suggestions for snacks they'd like to see us review, send us an email at thesnackauthority@gmail.com.
All right, so here it is. It's down to the wire here. We got to come up with an answer, and I'm going to have ladies go first. And it's between the Cheez-It, the Cheese Nip, or Annie's Cheddar Bunnies.
I'm going hardcore Cheez-It. I just love these.
Not
They're a
even
little
close?
bit burnt. It's not. I mean, these are fun, and I like looking at bunnies, and I'll eat anything. But this is just.
So you only have 2 piles there. Is that because you ate all the Cheez-Its?
I ate all the Cheez-Its.
Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
so it's a strong Cheez-It for you.
I'm a Cheez-It person.
All right. What do you think, Mikey?
You know, I really like the cheese nip, but I'm going to have to go with the Cheez-It just because it does have a little more salt.
You're liking the salt?
I like the salt. Because when I think cracker, I think salt.
And interestingly, I'm going cheese nip because it has less salt.
Really?
Now, maybe, if you're sitting with an adult beverage, the salt would be a good thing in the Cheez-It, but just tasting them separately, especially starting with the Cheez-It, it struck me as quite salty.
I like that it's super salty.
And I said it as soon as I put the Cheez-It in my mouth. Wow, is that salty? And I'm a Cheez-It guy. That's what's in the house, I'm sure. I found it way too salty. And then I got to the cheese nip and I said, well, there you go. Less salt, more cheese taste. I got to go with the cheese nips.
Wow.
Wow, that's a tie.
We got a
then.
split.
We got another split.
It's 2-2.
But I guess that's why they make more than one kind of things.
Yep.
Right. Cheese nip is a go-to, I think, now for me. If my wife's listening, I think we switch it up. Next time, let's go to the cheese nip. But the Annie's, no.
They're boring.
It's a boring snack.
Yep.
Is it because it's missing something?
Put the pesticides in the crops. It tastes better.
Listen, once you make it a bunny shape, it seems like it's targeted towards kids.
Yeah.
A goldfish competitor, for example.
I think the snacks of Annie's are designed more for mothers who are more health conscious.
Right. It's the health conscious goldfish, maybe.
Pretty much. Because they do all kinds of stuff.
Down the road, we're going to have to put the loser here, the bunny, against the goldfish or any other animal cracker that's out there.
There's many.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. They're fun to eat, but...
And they cost a lot more.
A lot
Probably
more.
because of the organic ingredients.
Double.
If I got this right, we have less salt, real cheese, and less money for the cheese nip.
Yeah.
Which me and Ed Sullivan picked.
It's a winner.
By far, the Cheez-It is number one. You can see number two going after number one. And Mikey and Jess say the Cheez-It is the winner. So we got a split decision here. But either way, I wouldn't be sad if I got a box of any of these because I'm a fan of the cheese cracker.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one to be honest with you.
So when people are doing their holiday gift giving, you'll take any of them.
I'll take any of them, and I will or will not, depending on how I feel, add peanut butter to them. I recommend it.
If you do it, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it.
You got to try it. So that is it. We got a split decision this week. Next week on the Snack Authority, what did we say? We're going to do mini. We found out that the WebMD says the worst snack in the world for you, and we're going to actually eat the worst snack in the world for you because it might be the worst for you, but it tastes really good. You're going to find out what that is next week right here on the Snack Authority. For Mikey, for Ed Sullivan, I'm Dave, Jessica. We are the Snack Authority. We'll see you next week right here on the Snack Authority.
And opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.